The war had lasted 50 years. Not a war in the sense Earth had once known. No trench lines, no fleets of steel and gunpowder. This was a war that stretched across the folds of space itself, a conflict of worlds that most humans would never see. Humanity's first encounter with intelligent alien life had not come in peace, though it had not been deliberate hostility either. The Zarathi Empire, an ancient and sprawling civilization ruled by a single monarch known as the Queen of Stars, had stumbled across Earth while charting new hyperspace routes. What followed was inevitable. Suspicion, misunderstanding, and escalation. The Earth Union and the Zarathi clashed in scattered battles, fought by drones and soldiers light-years away from the blue-green home planet. Entire colonies went silent. Fleets were lost in the darkness. Over the decades, the war hardened into something endless, as though it had always existed. Children grew up with the knowledge that an unseen enemy lived among the stars, alien in body, alien in thought. And then, at last, someone suggested talking. The envoy, Captain Elias Wren, had not volunteered. He was chosen. In truth, he was no diplomat. His record showed bravery, tactical insight, and the kind of blunt honesty that unnerved superior officers but earned loyalty from those under his command. He was respected, even admired, but never considered polished. He was, however, fluent in the Zarathi language after a long tour commanding a listening outpost that intercepted their transmissions. He had studied their myths, their music, their strange, crystalline writings. When the Union High Council asked for a representative to attempt first true contact with the Queen herself, Wren laughed bitterly. "You want me," he said, "because you think I'll say something that makes them trust us. Or something that gets me killed. And then you'll know it was impossible." They didn't deny it. So he boarded a single vessel, stripped of weapons, and crossed the boundary no human ship had dared cross before. The Zarathi core systems, the heart of their empire. The Queen of Stars. The palace was not a palace. It was a living construct of stone and glass and bioluminescent vines, hovering above the molten clouds of a planet whose surface was never seen by mortal eyes. Wren had expected something alien and cold, but the architecture radiated warmth, even serenity. He was escorted through vast halls by Zarathi guards, whose bodies shimmered faintly with embedded crystalline growths. Their faces were unreadable, angular, as though carved by an artist unfamiliar with softness. And then he stood before her. The alien queen. She was tall, taller than any human. Her figure draped in robes woven of light itself. Her face carried the same sharp features as her people, but her eyes, they held galaxies. They shimmered with violet and silver, and when they fixed on him, Wren felt as though his soul were laid bare. She was beautiful but not in any human way. She was terrifyingly present. "You are the first human to stand here," she said, her voice like chimes striking across a canyon. "And you come not with fleets, but alone. Why?" Wren's training urged him to recite the prepared speech. He could almost hear the High Council's words. "We seek mutual understanding, a path to coexistence, a bridge across the gulf of mistrust." But when he looked at her, when he felt the crushing weight of centuries of war behind him, the words died in his throat. Instead he said the truth. "I'm tired," he confessed. His voice cracked more than he intended. "We're all tired. Humanity's tired. Maybe your people are too. I don't know. But if someone doesn't say something real, something not written by a committee, then this will never end." The hall went silent. The Zarathi guards shifted, uncertain. The Queen tilted her head, studying him. A soft smile. She stepped closer. He could feel her presence, immense and delicate, like a storm balancing on the edge of stillness. "And what would you say," she asked, if you were not bound by your leader's chains, if you spoke not for your counsel, but for yourself. Ren swallowed hard. His instincts screamed at him to stop, to return to the speech, to salvage diplomacy. But he remembered the lost colonies, the empty signals, the weary eyes of soldiers who had never known peace. And something inside him broke free. I would say, he began slowly, that we've wasted 50 years proving who can kill better. I would say I don't care who fired the first shot, or who holds more systems, or whose gods are older. I would say that if you right now offered me peace, I'd take it. No conditions. No grand speeches. Just yes or no. He hadn't planned the words. They spilled out raw, unpolished, almost foolish. His heart hammered. This could be the end. An insult, a misstep, the wrong thing before the most powerful being in the known galaxy. But then it happened. The alien queen smiled. Not a cruel smile. Not a mocking one. A soft smile, gentle and human in its warmth. And she said, in a voice barely above a whisper, "Yes, I accept." The aftermath. The world did not change overnight. Peace never does. The Queen's acceptance was not a treaty, nor was it a surrender. It was a doorway. Negotiations began. Envoys traveled between stars. Some humans called Ren a hero. Others called him a fool who had spoken without authority. Some Zarathi saw the Queen's words as wisdom, others as weakness. But slowly, painfully, the war unraveled. Battles ceased. The silence of the void filled with tentative exchanges, not fire. There were arguments, betrayals, moments when it nearly collapsed again. Yet the Queen never rescinded her words, and Ren never apologized for his. The middle years passed. Ren did not return to war. Instead, he became the bridge no one had expected him to be. He sat in councils where Zarathi philosophers debated Union engineers about the shape of truth. He walked through Zarathi cities of crystal spires and saw children who no longer feared the human form. And quietly he saw her. The Queen never aged. Or perhaps she did, in ways imperceptible to human eyes. Their conversations were rare, always formal, but beneath the surface there was an unspoken recognition of the moment they had shared, the moment when honesty had cut through centuries of blood. One night, years after that first meeting, Ren confessed to her what he had never said aloud. "I didn't mean to speak that way," he admitted. "I was afraid. I just spoke without thinking." Her eyes shone with that same starlight. "Sometimes," she said, "truth is what remains when thought is stripped away." The turning point. Not all were content with peace. Factions arose on both sides. A human admiral, furious at the idea of compromise, launched an unsanctioned attack on a Zarathi convoy. At the same time, Zarathi warlords who saw peace as dishonor plotted rebellion. The fragile bridge nearly crumbled. Ren found himself once again before the Queen, pleading for restraint, even as voices around him demanded retribution. He realized then how precarious peace truly was, that a single spark could undo everything. But the Queen only said, "I gave my word. I do not break what I accept." Her loyalty to that single spontaneous moment became the foundation of an alliance greater than either people could have imagined. The ending. Decades later, when Ren was old and gray, he returned one last time to the Queen's palace. The guards still remembered him. The hall had not changed.